allow, even if they're in minority, everybody.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to support this motion for approval of these 6 nominees to the National Lands Commission. Honorable Speaker, just listening through to the debate that was there earlier and the issues that were being raised by the Honorable Oundo. You know, Honorable Speaker, we are not nominating, or rather we are not being asked to approve the entire 8 commissioners of the commission. These are only 6 out of the 8 commissioners. And therefore, even the argument that was being advanced earlier here, that there are certain professionals who have not been nominated into this commission, cannot stand because we are not considering all the 8 nominees. It is 6 out of 8 nominees. So even if what Oundo was saying was true, then you'd still have an opportunity later to appoint another 2 commissioners from the other professions. But, Honorable Speaker, more importantly is to look at what the mandate of this commission is and whether or not the commissioners are required by law to possess certain qualifications. And it is true, the commission has a lot of technical work, but that technical work is not vested singularly on commissioners, because the commission has a secretariat. As much as these commissioners are serving a full-time term, or rather is a full-time commission, they have a secretariat headed by a CEO. I've just forgotten the name of the CEO. Kabale from Marsabit. And she's quite competent. And she has also a very competent secretariat. Because, Honorable Speaker, if we were to argue that every profession, because I could also argue as an accountant or as an economist, that land is the first factor of production. And therefore, as an economist, we must have economists also in this commission. Accountants will argue about valuation and say it's not just land valuers like those I see here today, speaking for land valuers. Who can value land? It's about monetary value, and therefore we may need accountants in this commission. Same with lawyers. You have heard Honorable Kaluma argue very well, severally, saying that lawyers are learned. And I don't know, Honorable Speaker, who said only lawyers are learned. They're only learned in law. And at times tend to be. Honorable Speaker, let me not get there because Kaluma is looking at me with very menacing eyes. But lawyers could also argue, as much as they're there, that probably this commission should have lawyers, more lawyers than anybody else, because of issues to do with conveyancing. But if you look at the mandate in the act of the commission, to manage land, especially land on behalf of the national and county governments, then what we need to ask ourselves, the nominees who have been appointed, do they meet the minimum academic threshold that has been set out in the act? And yes, they all meet that minimum academic threshold. And welcome back, Honorable Oundo, because I was speaking about the issues that you are purporting to mislead the House on, and to mislead the country, and to speak to other people out there who we know have gone to court. But even those who have gone to court, it is within their right to go to court, because they represent associations who believe or who have the belief that only them could sit in such commissions, Honorable Speaker, and not any other commissions. Even teachers should be able to sit in such commissions, because even those land surveyors are taught by teachers. And I'm told that one of the commissioners already in the commission is a land surveyor. The Honorable Murugi, former member for, Esther Murugi, former member for Nyeri Town, and the member for Nyeri Town is here, he can affirm. I'm told she's a land surveyor. I didn't know that. I've just been told by the chair that she's said to be a land surveyor. But far from that, Honorable Speaker, we must ask this commission as they come into office, should they be approved. A company called Langton Investments, whose land was taken away by criminals who are being protected by police on site. And they went ahead to subdivide the land, and people even started building on private property. These people have gone to court, and from the papers they have submitted to my office, they allege that the Inspector General of Police is unable to remove the squatters who had squatted on that land and who continue building on private land, despite having court orders to evict those people. Therefore, this commission has a very important mandate to protect not just private land, but also public land. Honorable Speaker, anywhere you go around this country, you will see people taking over public land and converting it into private hands. The commission must protect public land. In our counties, Honorable Speaker, in our parastatals, and we just passed the Government-Owned Enterprises Act, and you see a lot of land belonging to parastatals, whether it is KBC, whether it is Kenya, Portland, East African Portland and others, a lot of public land that belongs to parastatals was being appropriated to individuals, and some go ahead and get titles, fake titles, and then sell to innocent third parties, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, we have a duty to make sure that this commission acts in the best interest of the public. And two, Honorable Speaker, that this commission also has a duty to ensure that the sanctity of the title deed is protected by all means. And that is where I agree with Honorable Kaluma to some extent. But that is important to have lawyers in this commission and people with a legal background. Because many of the land theft that is happening in this country, whether it's in public land or in private land, is being done by twisting the law. And therefore, those who have a legal background sitting in this commission will help the commission to be able to deal with land issues that are very prevalent around the country, Honorable Speaker. This commission must take stock of all land that was vested to our county governments, Honorable Speaker. Because many of our county governments got land vested in them, and they assumed that this land now belonged to governors, for governors to subdivide and allocate people a lot at will, without any regard to what the commission's mandate in allotment of land. And I say this, Honorable Speaker, because I've seen it in my own constituency, in Karai Ward. A wetland, a swamp, has been stolen by the county government officers and is being dished out to individuals, and they keep lying to people that they are going to get titles. You can never get land title deeds on a swamp, a wetland, a place where is a water reservoir. And unfortunately, these people are being conned by crooks within the county government, and they end up now, like now when it's raining, people have to move out of their land because they are sitting on a wetland, on a swamp. But they were sold to this land when it was very dry and looked very green, and what the Kikuyus call buloti maguta maguta. But there was no maguta maguta in the land because you're sitting on a swamp. Therefore, the commission must ensure that our county governments protect public land that is vested in them. Because public land under county governments doesn't belong to governors. And no governor, including that one in Kiambu, should be selling public land in the name of allotting it to purported squatters. And those purported squatters are county government officials selling to innocent third parties who do not know that they have no mandate to sell that land, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, all these gentlemen and ladies who have been nominated to this commission, Honorable Speaker, meet the threshold provided for in the Act and in the Constitution, and like what Honorable Ondo may have wanted us to believe. And also, Honorable Speaker, if you look at the Constitution, our public appointments, approval hearings for public appointments, and those who watched the committee consider these nominees. And the provisions of Article 252, there is absolutely nothing that can be raised about these nominees that is unconstitutional or that does not meet the constitutional threshold, whether it is the gender parity or the two-thirds gender rule that has been met, and these nominees do meet that two-thirds gender requirement, whether it is a question of their suitability to appointment in terms of their academic qualifications, they do meet that. Matters to deal with leadership and integrity, none of the submissions that were even submitted by the public through public participation touch on the integrity of any of these people. Representation of regional and ethnic diversity, again, that has been very well achieved. None of these nominees are from one community. If you read Abdullahi Alawi, I think is a Bajuni from Malindi or Lamu. If you see Susan Hakasa Oyatsi, that to me could be someone from Western Kenya. Daniel Murithi Muriungi is a Meru from Mount Kenya East. Kigen Vincent Cheruyot is from the Rift Valley. Dr. Julie Ouma is from the Lakeside. Mohammed Abdi Haji is from the northern part of Kenya. Mary Senator is from Kajiado County and a former senator, a member of this House, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, if it is regional and ethnic diversity, they meet that qualification. And therefore, that's why I was challenging what Honorable Ondo was saying, that it's very easy to stand up and oppose, but he was careful not to oppose. But he went ahead to do worse, say that these nominees do not meet the constitutional threshold. But he did not elaborate, and thank God the Speaker did direct Honorable Ondo to restrict himself to the provision of the Constitution, because it is easy to claim unconstitutionality. And you know, even those who go to court today run to the Human Rights and Human Rights Division Court to claim unconstitutionality of anything. Even your name, Kaluma, could be declared unconstitutional, or someone can claim is unconstitutional in the way you spell it or pronounce it. And it's up to them to prove the unconstitutionality of that. Honorable Speaker, it is up to those who allege to prove. Therefore, I know there are those who have gone to court. It is up to them to go and prove to the court whether the Constitution or the Act that created the National Lands Commission or that actualized the implementation of the constitutional provisions has in any way been offended by the nomination of these 6 nominees, and I pretend that nothing under the Act or under the Constitution has been offended, and therefore we must not speak in a way that we are trying to speak to help those who are in court, Honorable Ondo. Let those who are in court speak for themselves in court and argue their cases in court. For us here, what we are required to do is look at the constitutional provisions, the statutory provisions under the Act, and check whether those people meet those provisions, and they do meet. And I want to urge that we support this gentlemen and ladies to be able to have a functional commission, because even Honorable Ondo told us we actually need a functional commission, because the absence of a commission means that all those thieves who are stealing land left, right, and center will continue doing what they are doing and playing the monkey games they play in public offices to misappropriate public land. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support and urge the House to support these nominees.
No. It's